Did you know that Genghis Khan, the man who would become the world's most powerful conqueror, started his life in poverty? Cast your mind back to the windswept plains of Mongolia in the year 1162, when a child named Temujin, later to be known as Genghis Khan, entered the world. Born into a nomadic tribe, he was the son of a tribal leader, but his life was anything but privileged. At a tender age, Temujin's life took a tragic turn. His father was poisoned by a rival tribe, a brutal event that marked the beginning of a period of hardship and struggle for the young boy and his family. Abandoned by their tribe, they were left to fend for themselves in the harsh Mongolian wilderness, a life defined by scarcity and survival. Yet, in the midst of this hardship there was a flicker of hope. Temujin found solace in a woman named Borte, who would become his wife and a vital ally in the tumultuous years that lay ahead. Their bond was forged in adversity, tested and strengthened by the trials they faced together. However, their union was not without its own challenges. In a dramatic turn of events, Borte was kidnapped by a rival tribe. This incident served as a catalyst for the transformation of Temujin. It triggered a burning desire for power and revenge that would pave the way for his rise to power. This incident, brutal as it was, marked the turning point in the life of this future conqueror. Temujin rallied a group of warriors to rescue his wife, and in doing so he demonstrated his leadership abilities and strategic prowess. This was the beginning of his journey, the first step towards the creation of a vast empire that would stretch across Asia and Europe, leaving an indelible mark on history. From these humble and brutal beginnings, Temujin began to amass power, ultimately becoming the man we know today as Genghis Khan. Scene script. Imagine a man uniting the entire Mongolian plateau, a feat previously thought impossible. This was the beginning of the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan, born as Temujin, was that man. He came to power by uniting many of the nomadic tribes of Northeast Asia, a task akin to herding cats. But he accomplished this with a combination of charismatic leadership, political savvy, and sheer force of will. But Temujin didn't stop there. He wasn't just a unifier, he was an innovator. He restructured the Mongol military, doing away with tribal affiliations and establishing units based on decimal systems. This wasn't just an administrative change, it was a psychological one. It broke down tribal loyalties and fostered a sense of unity and loyalty to the Khan above all else. Genghis Khan's military innovations didn't end with restructuring. He was a master of psychological warfare, using fear as a weapon just as effectively as a sword or a bow. He led his newly unified Mongol warriors in campaigns that left his enemies in terror and his name synonymous with conquest. Yet Genghis Khan was more than a warrior, he was a statesman. Recognizing the importance of communication in his vast empire, he adopted the Uyghur script as the empire's writing system. This facilitated administration, record-keeping and even espionage. And he was a patron of trade. He established the Yasa, a code of laws which, among other things, protected the Silk Road and ensured the safety of merchants. This was more than just a boon for the economy. It was a strategic move, ensuring the flow of information, goods and wealth throughout the empire. With the Mongol Empire established, Genghis Khan was ready to expand his horizons, turning his gaze to the vast territories beyond Mongolia. His empire, his army, his laws, and his trade routes were all part of a grand strategy, a vision of a world united under the rule of the Khan. But this was just the beginning. The real conquests, the ones that would shake the world to its core, were still to come. Genghis Khan, now at the helm of a unified Mongolia, set his sights on the vast expanses of Eurasia. Let's delve into this era where the Mongol leader began his conquests. His first major target was the Jin dynasty in northern China. The Jin were a formidable foe, but they were no match for the Mongol hordes. They fell in 12 years from 1201 to 1213, marking the first major victory for Genghis Khan. The Mongols' success wasn't just due to their sheer numbers, but also their innovative military tactics. They were masters of psychological warfare. They would send a small force to attack, then retreat, luring their enemies into traps. Once the trap was sprung, the Mongols would strike from all sides, leaving their enemies in disarray. The Mongols were also superior horse archers. Their ability to shoot arrows accurately while riding at full gallop was unprecedented. This combination of speed, mobility and firepower made them a force to be reckoned with. Next on Genghis Khan's hit list was the Khwarezmian Empire, a vast territory that stretched from the Aral Sea to the Persian Gulf. The Khwarezm Shah made the fatal mistake of killing Mongol emissaries, inciting the wrath of Genghis Khan. By 1224, The Khwarezmian Empire was no more. The Mongol forces then pushed further west, into Eastern Europe. Here, they faced armies that were better equipped and more heavily armored than the forces they had previously encountered. Yet, the Mongols adapted and once again emerged victorious, cementing their reputation as a force of nature. These conquests were not just about power and territory, they were a part of Genghis Khan's vision to create a world empire under Mongol rule, a Pax Mongolica, where trade and ideas could flow freely from east to west. The world had never seen an invasion force like the Mongols, and Genghis Khan was just getting started. Genghis Khan's conquests weren't just military victories, they were often accompanied by unimaginable acts of violence. This Mongol leader, known for his tactical genius, was equally infamous for his brutal methods of warfare. Genghis Khan and his Mongol horde were not just conquerors, they were harbingers of terror. The Khan's philosophy was simple: to create a spectacle so horrifying that it would break the will of his enemies before the battle even began. His tactics ranged from wholesale slaughter to the enslavement of conquered populations, and even the complete eradication of cities that dared to defy him. Let's take a deeper look at some of these horrifying instances. The siege of Nishapur stands as a chilling testament to Genghis Khan's ruthlessness. Upon the murder of his favorite son-in-law, Khan ordered the entire city to be put to the sword. Men, women, children, none were spared. The death toll was so high it took days to count the bodies. The message was clear: oppose the Khan and face utter annihilation. Then, there was the invasion of Khwarezm. The Shah of Khwarezm made a fatal mistake when he killed Genghis Khan's envoys. Enraged, Khan unleashed his wrath upon the empire. The Mongol army swept across the land, destroying cities, slaughtering its people, and reducing the once prosperous empire to ruins. It was a strategic demonstration of power, a terror tactic that left a lasting mark on the rest of the world. These brutal tactics were not without purpose. Genghis Khan believed that by instilling fear and demonstrating the futility of resistance, he could prevent future rebellions and maintain control over his vast empire. It was a strategy of terror, designed not only to conquer but also to control. The Mongol Empire was growing, but at a tremendous human cost. Genghis Khan's reign of terror was a pivotal chapter in the grand tapestry of history, a period of darkness that forever shaped the course of human civilization. In 1227, the unstoppable force that was Genghis Khan came to a sudden halt. Yet, even in death, the great Khan's influence would not be stilled. The circumstances of his passing are shrouded in mystery, with theories ranging from injuries sustained in battle to illness to a fall from his horse. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, one thing is certain: Genghis Khan, the man who had carved out the largest contiguous empire the world had ever seen, was no more. But while the man was gone, his empire was far from finished. In accordance with Mongol tradition, Genghis Khan's successor was chosen from his sons. His third son, Ögedei, was named the Great Khan. Ögedei was a capable ruler, continuing his father's work and expanding the empire even further. Under his rule, the Mongol Empire reached its zenith, stretching from the shores of the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe. With Ögedei at the helm, the Mongol conquests continued. The Mongols swept through Persia, laying waste to cities and subjugating kingdoms. They advanced into Eastern Europe, striking fear into the hearts of those who had heard tales of their ferocity. The sheer scale of their dominion was staggering, their influence felt across continents. Yet it was not just through conquest that Genghis Khan's legacy endured. The Mongols implemented systems of governance that allowed their vast territories to be managed effectively. They fostered trade and communication, creating a network that spanned the breadth of their empire. They introduced legal codes and promoted religious tolerance, leaving an indelible mark on the societies they ruled. Genghis Khan may have died, but his empire lived on, continuing to shape the world. His death marked the end of an era, but it was far from the end of the story. The Mongol Empire, forged by Genghis Khan's iron will and sustained by his successors, would go on to play a pivotal role in the course of history, leaving a legacy that still resonates to this day. Genghis Khan's impact can still be felt today, from the borders of countries to our very genes. This audacious statement is no hyperbole. The Mongol leader's influence is stamped indelibly across the canvas of history, and his legacy continues to shape the world in profound ways. One of the most remarkable facets of Genghis Khan's legacy is found in our DNA. A genetic study discovered that about 1 in 200 men alive today is a direct descendant of Genghis Khan. This spread of the Mongol Y chromosome is a testament to the vast territory he conquered and the number of children he fathered. But the legacy of Genghis Khan is not just confined to our genes. His reign also marked the establishment of the Silk Road, a network of trade routes that connected the East and the West. This was a significant milestone in globalization, fostering an exchange of goods, ideas and cultures that enriched societies on both ends. The Silk Road was instrumental in the spread of inventions like the compass, gunpowder, papermaking and printing, from Asia to Europe. Moreover, Genghis Khan's influence extends to modern military tactics. His innovative strategies, such as the use of psychological warfare, the incorporation of enemy soldiers into his own ranks, and the implementation of highly mobile cavalry units, have been studied and emulated by military leaders throughout history. His tactics, based on speed, surprise, and unity of command, remain relevant in today's warfare and continue to inspire modern military strategists. Genghis Khan's reign was a mix of brutality and innovation, shaping the world in ways that still resonate today. His influence extends far beyond the borders of his empire, reaching into the intricacies of our DNA, the roots of global trade, and the strategies of modern warfare. As we delve deeper into the annals of history, the legacy of this formidable conqueror continues to unveil itself, reminding us of a time when the world was under the rule of the Mongols. Genghis Khan's reign was a mix of brutality and innovation, shaping the world in ways that still resonate today. From a destitute child to the ruler of the largest contiguous empire in history, Genghis Khan's story is a testament to the unpredictable nature of history. Our journey began with the birth of a Khan, a child named Temujin born into poverty, who would rise to become Genghis Khan, the unchallenged leader of the Mongol Empire. His rise to power was nothing short of extraordinary, built on a foundation of unwavering determination, strategic alliances, and a keen understanding of his enemies. Yet his reign was marked by a brutal series of conquests that stretched across continents. With a swift and deadly cavalry, Genghis Khan and his Mongol horde swept through Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Entire cities were razed, populations massacred, and cultures forever altered by the Mongol onslaught. But as we've seen, Genghis Khan was more than just a conqueror. He was a visionary leader who, despite his brutal tactics, introduced a number of significant reforms and innovations. He established a system of law known as the Yasa, promoted trade along the Silk Road, and even introduced a postal system that spanned his vast empire. His death marked the end of an era, but not the end of his influence. Even today, his legacy can be seen in the genetic makeup of populations across Asia and Europe, a testament to the sheer scale of the Mongol Empire under his rule. But perhaps his most enduring legacy is the impact he left on the world. His reign reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the 13th century, creating a ripple effect that can still be felt in modern times. His life serves as a stark reminder of the indomitable spirit of humanity and the power of a single individual to shape the course of history. This has been a journey through the life of Genghis Khan, a man whose legacy continues to shape our world. Join us next time on Historical Leaders Unveiled as we continue to explore the fascinating stories of history's most influential figures.